So far in the 9 realms, we have walked the golden halls of Asgard, wandered among mortals in Midgard, faced the giants of Jotunheim, and descended into the icy mists of Niflheim. Now our path takes us into a realm of fire and fury, Muspelheim, the world of eternal flame. Muspelheim was one of the 2 primal realms at the dawn of existence. Where Niflheim embodied ice and silence, Muspelheim blazed with fire and chaos. It was a land of endless flame, burning skies and rivers of molten rock. The sagas describe it as unbearably hot, its air filled with sparks and smoke. No mortal could survive there, and even gods feared its power. Muspelheim was not a gentle warmth, but a consuming inferno, destructive, untamed, and eternal. Its fires played a central role in creation. When Muspelheim's flames met the frost of Niflheim in Ginnungagap, the first life was born. Thus, Muspelheim represented both danger and necessity. Without its fire, the cosmos could not have formed. But Muspelheim was not an empty land. It was home to the fire giants, the children of flame, and their mighty leader Surtr, the flame bearer. From the beginning of time they waited, destined to march at the end of the world. Muspelheim's eternal fire was a symbol of destruction, yes, but also of transformation. It reminded the Norse that flame could both forge and consume, create and destroy. Muspelheim was the blazing home of the fire giants, beings born of flame and chaos. They were ancient, older than the gods themselves, and carried within them the unstoppable power of fire. The nature of fire giants, unlike the frost giants of Jotunheim, who are tied to ice and stone, the fire giants embodied destruction through flame. They were massive in size, their bodies glowing like molten rock, their hair and eyes burning like sparks. They were not merely creatures of heat, but personifications of fire itself, unpredictable, consuming and eternal. Guardians of the realm. The fire giants did not wander into the other realms freely. They stayed within Muspelheim, guarding its fiery borders and waiting for the destined time. This restraint made them all the more terrifying, for if they ever marched, it would be because the end had come. Surtr's children. All fire giants were said to be united under their great leader, Surtr, the flame bearer. They were his kin, his soldiers, and his shadow. When he raised his sword of fire, they would follow him into the final battle, their flames consuming the world. To the Norse, the fire giants symbolized an eternal truth. That fire cannot be controlled forever. It may be contained, but one day it will break free, burning everything in its path. At the dawn of time, before worlds or gods existed, there was only Ginnungagap, the Great Void. To the north stretched Niflheim, land of mist and frost. To the south blazed Muspelheim, realm of flame and fire. When Muspelheim's heat surged into the void, it met the icy rivers of Niflheim. The frost began to melt, and from the dripping waters of ice, life was born. From this union of extremes, fire and ice, heat and cold, emerged Ymir, the first giant ancestor of the Jotnar. The melting frost also revealed Audumla, the cosmic cow who nourished Ymir with her milk. While she licked the salty ice, she uncovered Buri, the first of the gods. Thus, from the meeting of Muspelheim's flame and Niflheim's frost, came both giants and gods, rivals born of the same moment. Muspelheim's role in creation was crucial. Without its fire, the ice of Niflheim would have remained lifeless. It was the spark that ignited existence, showing that life itself comes not from peace, but from tension and contrast. To the Norse, this myth carried deep meaning, that creation is born of conflict, and even the fire that destroys can also give birth to the world. At the heart of Muspelheim's fiery legions stood Surtr, the most feared of the fire giants. His very name meant the Black One, and in his hands burned a sword of flame so bright it was said to outshine the sun itself. Surtr in myth. From the dawn of time, Surtr was described as the guardian of Muspelheim. He stood at its borders, watching, waiting, and ensuring that the fires of his realm did not spill into the worlds before their appointed time. Unlike other giants, he was not simply chaotic. He was destiny incarnate. Surtr and Ragnarök. Surtr's true purpose was revealed in prophecy. When Ragnarök began, he would lead the fire giants out of Muspelheim, his blazing sword setting the skies aflame. With a single stroke, Surtr was destined to strike down the god Freyr in battle, and in the end he would bring the final destruction, engulfing Asgard, Midgard, and all the realms in fire. The symbol of Surtr. To the Norse, Surtr was not only a figure of terror, but also of renewal. His flames represented the cleansing power of fire, burning away the old so that something new could rise. He was both destroyer and harbinger of rebirth, the inevitable cycle of endings and beginnings. Surtr's image left such a mark on myth and culture that echoes of him still linger in modern fantasy, where fiery giants and flaming swords symbolize ultimate destruction. For the Norse, fire was never just a natural element. It was both feared and revered, a force of creation and destruction, of life and death. The first spark of life came when Muspelheim's flame touched Niflheim's ice. Without fire, the frost would have remained still and lifeless. Thus, fire symbolized transformation, the power to awaken, to change, and to create. Yet fire was also uncontrollable. A single spark could burn villages, devour ships, and destroy crops. In mythology, Muspelheim's giants embodied this destructive nature, and Surtr himself represented the inevitable fire that would consume the cosmos at Ragnarök. The Norse saw fire as both a gift and a curse. It gave warmth, light, and the forge's strength to craft weapons and tools. But in the same breath, it could take everything away. This duality made fire sacred, a reminder that every gift carries a cost. Beyond survival, fire was symbolic of renewal. The old had to be burned away for the new to rise, just as forests regrow after fire, and the world itself was destined to be remade after Surtr's flames at the end of time. In this way, Muspelheim's eternal fire was not only a threat, but a promise, the reminder that endings are beginnings in disguise. From the beginning of time, it was foretold that Muspelheim would play a central role in Ragnarök, the twilight of the gods. When the end came, the fire giants would no longer remain within their burning realm. Led by Surtr, they would march across Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, their flames so intense that the bridge itself would shatter beneath them. At Ragnarök, Surtr would raise his flaming sword brighter than the sun and lead his army into battle. The gods would face him on the plain of Vigrid, where the greatest conflict of all time would unfold. In that battle, Surtr was fated to slay Freyr, the god of fertility and harvest, leaving the world's life force unguarded. After the gods and giants clashed, Surtr would unleash his final act. With his sword, he would set the 9 realms aflame, engulfing Asgard, Midgard, and all of creation in fire. Everything, gods, men, giants, and beasts, would be consumed. Only ashes and silence would remain. Yet, in true Norse belief, this was not the end. From the ashes of Surtr's fire, a new world would rise, fresh, fertile, and unscarred by the old conflicts. Thus, Muspelheim's role in Ragnarök was not only to destroy, but to pave the way for renewal. Its fire was both death and rebirth, the final cleansing before the dawn of a new age. Though feared for its destructive power, Muspelheim carried a legacy far deeper than fire and ruin. It was one of the primal forces of creation. Without its sparks, the frost of Niflheim would never have melted, and life itself would never have stirred. For the Norse, fire was both essential and dangerous. It warmed homes, cooked food, and forged weapons. At the same time, it could consume villages, forests, and lives in a single blaze. Muspelheim symbolized this eternal paradox, the gift and the threat of fire. Surtr, the flame-bearer, became a lasting figure in myth. His blazing sword inspired countless later depictions of fiery destruction in folklore, literature, and modern fantasy. Even today, stories of apocalyptic fire, burning giants, and final cleansing flames trace back to Muspelheim's mythology. The legacy of Muspelheim was renewal. Its flames destroyed, but they also cleared the path for new beginnings. In the Norse view, no ending was final. From ashes, life would return, just as the world would be reborn after Ragnarök. Thus, Muspelheim's eternal fire was not only a doom to fear, but a promise to understand. It taught that destruction is part of the cycle of life, and that from every fire something new may rise. Thus ends our journey through Muspelheim, the realm of eternal fire. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with fellow mythology lovers. Our saga continues in the next episode, where we descend into another mysterious realm of the 9 realms.